And I don't know whose idea, probably Sandman's idea or Paulie's idea to bring in his son Tyler. But it was so great, you know, because people that don't know, you know, I'm telling people that don't know.
What, the whole
What this, the family.
That you're still saying his family and his kid, Tyler. Tyler was how old at the time?
7-year-old kid.
Because
I didn't have a family of my own, so I stole his family.
Yeah. How was it working with the 7-year-old kid?
It was great. The kid knew his kid knew his cues better than I did. Sometimes I'd be like, we doing a take, and I forget my line. I forget to give him the line to cue him that he would follow. But he knew it was his time to hit his line, so he would just hit it anyway. Really smart kid.
Yeah. Whose idea was it for Dreamer to never beat you?
Paulie's.
Paulie. And what about the memories of your final ECW match with Dreamer? Is it true that you didn't want to put him over?
Well, it's not for a business reason. Like, I didn't mind losing. I'd care less if I won or lost. But me and Tommy both were like, well, there's no sense. It doesn't make any sense, Paulie. I'll be back someday. And Paulie's like, you're never coming back. You know? He just thought I'd never be back, and he wanted closure. You know, he didn't want one of his top guys not getting the final win because he thought that would mar Tommy's career, which is so... That's where Paulie let old-timer disease kind of sleep in his head. Because to me, even if he never got to win on me, he beat me up so many times, but it gives Tommy a third dimension to his character.
Yeah.
Like something you could always go back to that he never got over. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something that shaped him, made him what he is. And so me and Tommy fought tooth and nail with Paulie. I mean, we just both knew that it was wrong. You know what I mean? And we were right. It was wrong. Actually, no, I'm sorry. I think I thought it was right after we did it then. I so thought Paulie was wrong, and then when we did it, I thought he was right. And then, of course, years later, I thought he was wrong because then I came back. Yeah. But I think after the match, I think I changed my opinion and thought Paulie was right after it happened.
Yeah, now that match was one of the best matches I've ever seen, going into that whole segment where you were out and everybody else came in. How did you feel about how that match went? Do you remember it at all?
I remember that we had all these different things we'd done in so many other matches that they were key things. Like people recognized us going into certain spots and certain finishes, and they knew the dog and pony show, and there'd be run-ins, and and we took all the stuff they wanted to see and gave it to them one last time, you know, and just we tore the house down with that.
Yeah, totally. What about the barbed wire match with Sandman? Do you have any memories from that?
Yeah, that was after I got out of rehab, and Paulie, took the belt off when I was in rehab, which was probably a good idea, and said if you want the belt back, you got to have a barbed wire match, which he knew I was terrified of. I just was terrified of being in a barbed wire match.
Was he like punishing you, do you think?
Yeah, I think what he was doing was he wanted me to do it, and he knew I could, and he knew the only way that I would do it is if I had a vested interest in it. You know what I mean? So he I think it was like a father going, look, I know it's better for you. The only way you're going to do this, you can do this, you need to do this. So I'm going to make it where you have to do it, you know. And I wanted to be the top. It's not that I wanted the belt. I wanted to be top guy.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, if I can do it. And then I was scared shitless. All of a sudden I got in there. It didn't hurt a bit. I was like, guy could have done these years ago. Book me anytime in this. But then Paul was like, we don't need you anymore for doing it. You did it. We're good, you know.
Yeah. What you mentioned going into the rehab and everything. How bad were you at the time? Like,
it really had nothing to do with the booze, in my opinion. I was actually having an emotional breakdown. So it wasn't. I mean, it was an emotional breakdown. It wasn't like I got to stop drinking. I need to quit drinking. Because eventually I just quit drinking. Because I ended up just quit drinking on my own. Well, I got sick, so I didn't quit drinking. But I mean, it wasn't. It's hard to explain, but it wasn't like I went to rehab because I wasn't going to quit drinking. I mean, I had no plans on quitting drinking, but I needed a break from life because I'd slipped into a depression. I'd never been depressed before. I mean, I'd been sad. I felt depressed, but I'd never actually been in a depression where I didn't want to get out of bed. You know, where I wasn't suicidal. I don't think I would have became suicidal, but I didn't want to do anything. You can't imagine a depression until you've been in one, and it's the first and only depression I've ever been in. And so I figured I needed to stop drinking, first of all, to get over this depression. But that had nothing, once I got there, I realized that had nothing to do with it. It was all the childhood trauma that finally I was dealing with, and there's a lot of stuff, but suffice to say, once I dealt with the issues, then I was fine,
Yeah, what was Paul Heyman's reaction when you told him that?
It was great. Absolutely great. Yeah. Couldn't have been any better. He was like, you know what, no problem. He goes, I will take care of it. He goes, I will tell the sheets and the media that you just need some personal time, and it's not to be discussed. And please respect his wishes. And Paulie was a saint about it. And the best part was Anthony the Pitbull going, you just went to rehab because you didn't want to drop the belt. I was like, was going to drop it for another year, you moron. Wasn't even scheduled to drop it, you know what I mean? They had to fucking make some makeshift plan with Stevie and the Sandman or something.
Yeah. How do you like working Sandman compared to Dreamer?
I love working both of them. Me and Dreamer don't do so good without garbage though. Like our WWE matches were kind of the shits mostly.
Yeah.
Because Dreamer's skills are much more in the garbage department than they are in wrestling. You know what I mean? I can kind of do both. I love wrestling. Dreamer's one of my all-time favorite opponents. Him and Sandman were like 2 of my 4 all-time favorite opponents. 2 of my top 5. You know what I mean?
Who are the others?
I don't know. There are probably 1 and 2, but I mean, I don't want to say just 1 and 2 because there may be others, but I'm sure if I could think about it for a while. But, Sandman I love because he just beat the piss out of him. All he wants to do is get the crap kicked out of him, so which I love. Because mostly, if you watch my matches, I mostly sell. You know, I like to sell. He's like the only guy I wrestle where I do less selling than my opponent. In fact, we just had a hell of a match the other night on TNA. I don't know if you saw it, but I mean, it was so cool because we haven't worked in 5 years. And man, it's just like, it was just put on a whole pair of shoes and we just slid right into it. And because he said before the match, he goes, it's just going to be like old times. And at some point in the match, all of a sudden I was like, yep, just like old times. It was really cool. Yeah, and Dreamer was just great. He would follow anything. He would try anything. Great ideas. He loved the stories we did. You know what I mean? The stories we told, he loved telling them. And there was so much passion. He always gave 100%. So it was just a pleasure that we were on the same page. I mean, me and him and me and Samuel were just in sync, you know. And when we weren't, bless their hearts, they always deferred to me, which I thought was a great compliment.
Were there any booking ideas with like the Raven Dreamer feud that never happened that you really pushed for and really wished did? Anything come to mind?
Yeah, I think there was something, but I don't know what it was. It just seems like there was something. I think there was the one where we were going to sodomize Gabe Sapolsky.
Going into Barely Legal pay-per-view, what was your initial reaction when you heard ECW was going on pay-per-view? Did you think it was a necessary step for the company?
Yeah, I thought they should have done it sooner.
Yeah.
But then looking at hindsight, it was the beginning of the end. I mean, it's kind of funny, like, creatively, everything had been stolen from them, you know what I mean? So they're at that was kind of, at that point, that's when I was getting ready to leave anyway, because Bischoff made me too good an offer. And, but by the same token, another reason I had to leave was there was almost nothing left to do in the company. I'd wrestled everyone in every sort of match, beat everybody, or I'd done everything I could to do in that, you know, with everybody I'd done it with everybody that was there, that was on my level. Creatively, we weren't the creative force anymore because we changed the face of the business, but now that it was changed, it did, like, there was no way to change it again at that point. I mean, there was no new ideas at that point, and all our ideas were no longer being revolutionary because now they were stolen. You know what I mean? So it was like WCW and WWE copied us, so everything that we changed about the business now went outside, changed the business, and so now it's a whole new business, and it's on a different level, and we weren't the influence anymore because we had nothing left to influence them with. And I think Paulie was creatively starting to burn out. You know, and plus they couldn't afford to keep town any longer. I mean, they brought Rey Mysterio, Hogan, they were gone. WCW took them. Benoit and Eddie and Dean took them. Shane, a couple times, he kept coming, come back. Cactus. Finally, I left. I mean, there was no one left. You know what I mean? Paulie couldn't afford to keep anyone. And even Terry Funk left. I mean, he would only come and go anyway. But I mean, even he went to the WWE for a while. And I just felt like it was over. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't being influential anymore. Now it was a regular company. You know what I mean? And so that changed things. And if it's going to be a regular company, well, I want to get paid more money. You know. Plus, but I still wanted to stay because I didn't want to leave